What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and tonight I've got some football focus. I know I promised you guys this video last week, but I had a lot of errands to do. I had a couple press things to do. I had some stuff with a book to work on. I had a few convention things to do, some write-ups to do, and then I got sick. I got one of these stupid seasonal viruses that everyone is getting, but I am healing now, getting somewhat close to healthy, so I figured I'll bring you guys the Pittsburgh Steelers free agency targets for 2025. I've been doing Steelers offseason coverage so far as the offseason has gone by. I talked about our entire free agency list, who we should keep, who we should cut, who I think they'll keep and cut, and who I would like to keep based on price point. And that video is the last video on my channel for the Steelers. Also, a couple of film reviews I did on there recently. Did Hard Eyes, did Companion. Go check those out. Those are all among the last videos on this channel. But today I'm talking about the free agency list in the NFL that Pittsburgh should go after. Some positions, some guys that I think Pittsburgh could target to figure out some holes from their team last year, ways to improve the big weaknesses on our squad from last season. And I have this ranked in 5 categories. I'll go from 5 to 1, from least important to most important. But I really want to bolster this roster, in some cases just getting some veteran depth, in other cases trying to get some kind of major names to fill some holes. And obviously we're going to use the draft as well, but I want to supplement the draft with these free agents and try and fill out this roster. And I have 5 kind of positions that I want to really address here, so I'll start with 5 and work my way up to the most important. Number 5, I want to get a veteran running back on this roster. Obviously, all 3 of our guys right now are free agents in some way. Jaylen Warren is restricted. There's a good chance he's going to be tendered and brought back. So Jaylen Warren looks to be our kind of 1A/1B guy this year again. Najee Harris likely is going to be gone. I'm a big Najee fan, obviously, 4,000-yard seasons. So yeah, we're going to move on. His yards per carry's been low. He's going to require a lot of money. Pittsburgh's not going to pay him. He's going to be gone. And the third guy on this roster was Cordero Patterson from Arthur Smith's old offense, but he, wasn't great this year. Had a few nice moments. Is still a decent guy in a committee of a backfield, but I don't think he's a guy you really want taking up a lot of valuable carries. So really under contract, realistically coming into next season, I think Jaylen Warren is the only guy we have, and he's capable of being a starter. But you definitely want some other guys carrying the ball with him because he has not been a full-time number 1 guy yet in the NFL so far. Do I think that he could do it? I think so. But I think we could use some other guys along with him. So obviously I think we're going to draft a running back, and I will do my draft predictions video pretty soon where I will give you guys 3 different mock drafts of who I'd take and who I think they're going to take. I do think they're going to address running back in the draft, probably in the 2nd or 3rd round. This is a deep running back draft with a lot of first-round talent leaking into the 2nd and 3rd rounds, I think. So we're going to get somebody for the future in this draft. But I think you want at least one veteran guy so that you're not banking on having to get a superstar in the draft. I think you want to get a guy in the draft who can be a 2nd or 3rd round guy. You don't want to get a 1st round guy in the draft and waste capital on that when you have bigger needs. So you want to bring a veteran in. I have written down 3 names here, but I have a 4th one that I want to pose. This running back room of free agents is pretty interesting. There's no surefire hits on this free agent list. There's a lot of veteran guys who have proven NFL carries, guys that can make plays at the NFL level. But some of these guys are aging, and some of these guys are just very talented but injury prone or have played behind kind of bad teams. Let's talk about them. So the extra kind of name that I didn't write down because I don't think it's going to be all that possible is J.K. Dobbins. I've been a big Dobbins fan in Baltimore. I thought he was underused. He obviously got hurt a lot. Went back last year to the Chargers and was healthy for the most part for the year. Missed a few games, but mostly was healthy. Had a career resurgence. I like Dobbins. He's a good pass catcher out of the backfield. Very solid tackle breaking runner. Just a really big fan. So I don't think we're going to get Dobbins. I think he's going to require some money after this pretty good season. I think his ceiling is still yet to be hit. But 3 guys I think are possibilities, are pretty interesting on this list. Javonte Williams. I was a massive Javonte Williams fan when he came out the same year as Najee and Etienne. Javonte was one of the best college tapes I ever saw as far as running through tackles, breaking tackles, having the combination of speed and power. Hasn't quite lived up to it in Denver. Got hurt a little bit. The line has not been great for them in Denver. Overall, they've used a lot of different backs, and I just don't think Javonte's played behind very many good players. Quarterback-wise and line-wise, it's been very inconsistent for him. I don't think he's better than Najee. He's not even necessarily a lateral move. He's weaker than Najee, in my opinion. But I'm just a fan of his run style, and I love his college tape so much, and I love the potential and the occasional plays that he made in Denver, even if it's just 10 per season. I've seen him make enough plays that I think he could be a nice piece on a roster. He could be a 1B and be a guy that only gets, a third of the carries or half the carries and winds up kind of showing what he can do and not have to be the main guy in case he gets hurt. Raheem Mostert's another guy. Mostert is a long-term NFL veteran. He's been solid for his entire career. He was really, really good in Miami. Obviously, they've got Achane now that came in to be a starter. They drafted a fast guy last year. Miami's got all the speed. But Mostert is another guy. Runs hard. Has had some durability issues the last couple of years, but is very fast for a guy that size. Can wind up catching the ball out of the backfield as well. I think Mostert's another guy that if he's not carrying the ball a ton and he's just asked to be a 10-touch-a-game guy, I think he can be a really nice 1B behind Jaylen Warren. He's got some Jaylen Warren tendencies to him. He's a little faster and he's not quite as powerful, but Mostert is a solid guy as long as he's healthy. And if he's going to be in a committee with a young rookie and Jaylen Warren, I think he'd be a good fit. Another guy I like is Elijah Mitchell. Obviously, Jordan Mason in San Fran has got the higher end opportunity here, but Elijah Mitchell has been bitten by the injury bug a lot. This guy is a tackle breaker, hard runner. This dude has shown, I think he had 900 total yards his rookie year, 750 rushing, and then 150 through the air, like 9 touchdowns. Dude is a productivity monster when he's healthy. Came in, had a really good rookie season, got hurt, came back when Christian McCaffrey got hurt, started a couple games, played very well, and then got hurt again. McCaffrey came in, so he was kind of the automatic number 2 guy. He's never really gotten to put together a full season after his rookie year to show what he can do, but he's still young. He's a good pass catcher. He's a very hard runner. I like his upside if he can stay healthy. But again, if you're asking this person that's coming in to kind of be 1B with Warren and also give up carries as the season goes on to a rookie, and they're just one of 3 guys, I think that Mostert or Elijah Mitchell or Javonte Williams could be that guy. Elijah Mitchell, I think, intrigues me more than any of these other guys, to be honest with you. But I think a solid productivity but limited exposure running back could be a good number 5 piece here. Number 4, I'm looking slot corner. I like Beanie Bishop. I think he's going to be a good guy for the roster. He's a good guy to fill in. Got some turnovers last year, played pretty well. I think Cam Sutton's going to be gone and should be. I think the injury or the suspension gave him a lot of rust. I think he had a bad year. I don't think he's worthy of a contract right now. Beanie Bishop showed some really nice upside, but he's still got a long ways to go, and he's pretty slight. He needs more experience. That being said, I think upgrading at slot corner would help us, and this would be a cheap fill-in for us. I'm trying to write down mostly names that I think are feasible for the Steelers. They may go after the occasional high-end guy like a Patrick Queen last year, but they usually go after kind of guys that are proven but not stars. They're kind of the B-tier, C-tier guys. So I'm looking for slot corner, and I'm looking at Mike Hilton. We loved Mike Hilton here in Pittsburgh. He's still one of the best edge blitzing corners out of the slot in the NFL. He's still a very solid cover guy for a slot corner. He's got the combination of blitzing and tackling ability and coverage ability. He was not as good at the end of his Cincy career as he was in Pittsburgh, but he's still very solid, and he's going to come for a cheap price, and he knows the system. So I think Mike Hilton is a really good bargain get here. You get him for cheap. He's an automatic upgrade in the slot as your number 3 corner, which I think would be very nice. I don't think this is a big necessity depending on what we do at our outside corner, and we'll talk about that, because the slot corner upgrade could be bringing back Jackson from last year, bringing back Dante Jackson and moving him to the 3rd corner. I think taking the turnover ability and speed that he has and letting him play kind of inside corner and get those turnovers and get that spark on the inside, guarding the slot guys and not being the number 2 guy, I think helps him a lot. But if we can't get Jackson, Mike Hilton is a very good fill-in. Nate Hobbs is out there for the Raiders. He's one of the best slots in the NFL. He's very good, very young, very talented, around the ball a lot, very good cover guy, nasty player, but I don't know if we're going to be able to afford him. He's obviously the dream signing at this role, but I think Mike Hilton is much more affordable, much better bargain for your buck, and I think that's more realistic for the Steelers. Number 3, I'm looking at getting a wide receiver. I do think we're drafting a wide receiver. A lot of drafts have us drafting one in the first 2 rounds. I could see us getting one anywhere from 1 to 4. I think the first round we have to look at tackle. I think we're obviously, like I said before, getting a running back in one of the first 3 rounds. So we have a lot of things to look at. Corner is another piece here that we're looking at in the first few rounds. So receiver could go anywhere from in the first round overall pick from like a Mecca Ibuka all the way down to the 4th round. So Pittsburgh's going to add somebody, but they have Roman Wilson, who is kind of undeveloped. We don't know what he's going to be yet. Good camp, but got hurt. Calvin Austin is a very good player, but he's more of a 3 than a 2 because of his slot abilities and his speed. Pickens right now is a clear number 1 outside guy, but he's got a contract year this year. We don't know if we're going to re-sign him or not, or what's going to happen with him. So we need another receiver to come in here and be at the very least a number 2 to Pickens this year, with potential to be a number 1 while another rookie comes in, while you figure out where the best place to use Austin is. They haven't quite figured out yet, and what to do with Roman Wilson, what you're going to have in Roman Wilson. So I think bringing in at least one free agent wide receiver makes sense. Now everyone's going to go ahead and put us in there, just like for the corners. They're going to put us in for the best guy possible, and I don't see that being a possibility. And honestly, of the names that are currently out there, there's a lot of guys that are very old and are slowing down and are injured a lot. There's a lot of guys that aren't the highest end. We just saw Christian Kirk supposedly getting cut by the Jaguars. As of recording of this video, he's getting traded to the Texans. Now he's going to the Texans for a 2026 7th round pick, next year's 7th. I would have taken him for that for sure. That being said, good for the Jaguars to get something back for Kirk, but Kirk plays in the slot anyway, and we already have multiple slot guys, and he's going to require a contract once he gets in here, and he plays in the slot, and he gets hurt a lot. He's hurt all the time. Very good route runner, good hands, but he gets hurt a lot. You have guys out there like Hollywood Brown, who's always hurt, who plays a slot style. Then we don't need more slot guys, and we don't need guys getting hurt. We already have had Antonio Brown here. Why would you want to use his injured cousin? I don't like that. DeAndre Hopkins is getting old, is slowing down, is getting hurt. You have all these guys. I mean, even Devontae Adams. I like Devontae a lot, and if we get him for a good price, if we get him in the $10 to $12 million range, okay, very good. Number 2 could be number 1. If Pickens leaves, he can fill that spot. He's only got a few years left. He's not going that much longer. I do like one guy that's older that got cut yesterday, and that's Tyler Lockett. He's going into his 11th season, and he is slowing down. He went from the clear number 2 behind Metcalf to the slot guy, the 3rd guy behind JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba in Seattle. I do like Tyler Lockett a lot. Another guy that gets open a lot, runs good routes, runs a complete route tree, is very fast. He can return. He can even take end arounds. The dude's got blazing speed. But again, 11 seasons in the NFL, and he is slowing down his production a little bit. That said, still 3 of his last 5 years, 1,000-plus yard seasons. Last year, I think, still had like 800 yards, even as the 3rd guy. So he's a worthy number 2. That's a definite upgrade for us, but he's still one to look out for. 3 other guys that I wrote down on this list. Demarcus Robinson from Los Angeles. Good hands, underrated combat catch guy, but he is very similar to Pickens. Good body type, clear outside guy that I like, but it's a lateral move, in my opinion, from guys that we picked up last year. I don't think he's all that much better than the number 2 we had last year from Atlanta. I don't think it's a gigantic upgrade. It's a small one, and he's got upside, but I don't think it's a big upgrade. 2 guys that I would like now. Noah Brown is a guy that I wanted last year when Washington signed him. Went and played pretty well there. They got a bunch of receivers there now with Deebo Samuel going to Washington. I think Noah Brown could be a slight upgrade. It's definitely better than Van Jefferson and Quez Watkins and guys we signed last year, Scotty Miller, guys like that. I like Noah Brown. The guy that I like more than Noah Brown is my kind of like 3rd guy. I would say receivers that I want to sign right now that could fit us and be clear upgrades. Noah Brown's my number 3. Tyler Lockett's my number 2, only based on age. He's the most talented, but he's older. Number 1, Darius Slayton from the Giants. Consistent productivity, good deep ball guy, gets open, can play outside, but also has slot tendencies with his speed, can make big plays downfield, and he's had bad quarterbacks. I like Darius Slayton. That's the guy I'd pick up if I had the opportunity. But Tyler Lockett is also a win. Number 2, defensive tackle. I think this is our first pick in the NFL draft this year. I think it's our biggest hole and our biggest need is a clear defensive tackle. I've written down 2 guys that I like here. One is older and is more likely, and one is a bit younger and a bit less likely. I think a veteran guy that's 30, 31, 32 is worth a 2 to 3 year flyer at this point to upgrade the position and at least be the short-term starter and depth piece for the rookie that's coming in. Because no matter what happens, Cam Hayward's only going to be playing for another year or two. He's retiring soon. So you want someone that can play on the outside, bump into the inside, provide some depth, veteran leadership when Cam's gone. I'm looking at DJ Jones from Denver, high productivity guy, played a good full season this past year. I like him a lot overall, but I think the more likely one is the cheaper option again for us. Again, I'm going for B to C tier guys that are NFL proven guys that are solid and are not going to cost as much because that's what Pittsburgh usually does. I'm being realistic here. DJ Jones is kind of the dream pick here. The more realistic one is Javon Hargrave coming back over after going to Philly and San Fran. He's played well his entire career. He's giant. He's a big stuffer. Good tackler, good pass rusher for a guy that size, can do both in the pass and run game, is a proven productive guy, a proven winner, and knows the system. I think Javon Hargrave is possibly likely here. Number one, I'm going for an outside corner. I think we need 2 corners on this roster next year to go along with JPJ and Corey Trice and hopefully Dante Jackson and Beanie Bishop. Those 4 guys, definitely 3, we'll see about Dante Jackson, possibly 4, on this roster. You want 6. You want 2 more guys. 1 more inside guy, which I already talked about, and 1 more outside guy that can play the number 2. Obviously, we're drafting one, hopefully early in the draft, but we got to sign one. And this is where we have a good bit of cap room. We have a lot of money this year, more than ever, and we just restructured. We saved $4 million restructuring Cole Holcomb's deal as I record this video. I just got the waiver wire across. So we're saving more money, and there's more cuts to come as well. So Pittsburgh's going to have some money to spend. If they're going for a lot of bargain guys, if they're getting Slayton for a decent amount of money, and you're getting bargains on guys like Hargrave and Hilton, and you're signing a veteran running back like Elijah Mitchell or Mostert, and you're getting veteran guys for decent money that's not breaking the bank, and your only mid-range contracts are going to be Darius Slayton probably, then you want to go for a big-time outside corner. This is where you strike big. You're looking at, in my opinion, Darius Slay was cut from Philadelphia, a veteran who's made plays. You've got DJ Reed for the Jets. Love that guy. I think the two best fits for us in Pittsburgh, Travarius Ward from the 49ers and Byron Murphy from Minnesota. Those 2 guys would be my 2 dream pickups here. I like Slay and Reed, and I would take any of the 4 of those guys. But I think Travarius Ward and Byron Murphy are my 2 dream picks. They're physical. They get turnovers. They're around the ball a lot. They're lockdown guys. They can play on the outside without holding. They can mentor JPJ, who's got a good physical style. You can bump either one of those guys to the 1 and 2 spots. You have 2 physical guys on the outside that can mentor Corey Trice as he continues to come along. I think that would shore up this system. I think if you have a Byron Murphy or a Charvarius Ward or a Slay or a Reed as your number 2 with JPJ at your 1, and then you have Dante Jackson as your 3, and then Beanie Bishop as your backup 3, and Trice as your backup 2, and then you draft a guy, you got 6 young guys who are young, healthy playmakers who have a world potential, and you have that veteran guy mentoring the physical outside guys. I like that fit. So what do you guys think? I'm going after a veteran running back. I'm going after a slot corner. I'm taking another solid receiver that can be a 2. I'm taking a veteran defensive tackle, and I'm taking a big outside cornerback 2. What do you guys think? Tell me in the comments down below. Is it feasible? Who did I pick that was overrated? Who do you think I left off the list that could be a good fit for us? And are there any other needs you think that we really need more than one of the ones that I listed here? Tell me in the comments down below, and please like, share, and subscribe to these Pittsburgh Steelers deep dives. Check out my Steelers free agency video of who we should keep and cut. Check this one out and comment on it. Give me your free agency list of the guys you want most. And tell me in the comments down below what you want to see next as I get ready for my Pittsburgh Steelers mock draft videos, hopefully in the next week or so. Take care, guys. Go Steelers.